Hi, it's November 15th. I'm feeling uh, hopeless. I I've just really I feel like I'm losing hope in people. I see all this euphoria with these Trump people thinking that he's somehow gonna fix all these problems that he just doesn't have any power to fix. Uh but I'm seeing very little acknowledgement of the real problems with the debt, with the currency. And I know I'm right about that, but it doesn't matter because I'm not able to convince anyone else. And even if the solutions I've come up with are perfect, it also doesn't matter because no one's interested in hearing about them. Yeah, so far, 0 people other than me are in my cult promoting what I support, what I believe. And I've spent years, hundreds of comments probably per day, interacting with people, trying to convince even a single other human being that freedom is a plausible solution. So I just get dismissed instantly. I get blocked, I get banned, I get silenced. People don't want to hear it. And my belief is that people are run by fear and hatred uh, for the most part, that people are petrified of considering any ideas that go against the idea of whatever cult they're in. And it seems like pretty much everyone's in one. So, uh, people got their beliefs and they're not interested in trying to advance them. They're not interested in trying to reconcile them with my beliefs. And we're going to have a crisis. I think we're going to see a lot of violence. I think we're going to see we're going to see the Palestine protesters. I think we're going to see the size of those crowds increase significantly now that a lot of leftists aren't voting for Kamala, which of course would be a anti-Palestinian vote. I think now that people aren't so worried about that, you're going to see bigger protests. I think you're going to see big protests with the deportation stuff. But ultimately, I think you're going to see the biggest protests as food riots because the government isn't going to be able to take care of people. And I don't even think the government's going to want to do that with Trump there. So I think we're going to see a lot of violence. I think we're going to see a lot of bloodshed. I think both sides of this civil war are going to lose very significant numbers, far in excess of what anyone can imagine. I think we're going to see violence far in excess of what anyone can imagine in this country, because we just have these groups of people who are entirely unwilling to have discourse, to learn, to have empathy, to have compassion, and really to consider anything other than violently trying to impose their will on everyone. So that's what government does. That's what governments do. And I expect it to get real fucking ugly. I don't know if we're going to get freedom. I don't know if these solutions I'm proposing are going to be anything other than something that I'm going to read to myself that no one else is going to be interested in, because no one's interested in my channel. Very few people were interested in my first book. And as I go through TikTok and YouTube, it just seems like no one's interested in improving their understanding of learning things that they don't know. And again, just being decent human beings in really any way whatsoever. So that's a harsh condemnation, but it's the truth as I see it, as I've experienced it. So, wish I could give you some hope, but my hope's really dying here. I'm not a sociable guy. I don't like small talk. I don't like sitting around a bunch of fake people having fake conversations and ignoring all the big topics that are important because it's inconvenient for people to discuss or to think about or to talk about. I'm a real guy. I live in the real world, and I'm just waiting for someone to fucking join me. So until someone does, I'm going to keep trying to make it through one day at a time. I didn't get any of my book written today because I wasn't up for it. Some days, a lot of days, getting through the day is the best I can do. Sometimes getting through the day because maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe a couple weeks from now, I'll have the motivation to write a page. Maybe eventually I'll get done. Maybe eventually someone will care. Hasn't happened yet. I mean, I've condemned everyone, man. I've said what I have to say, you know. I mean, all these Trump appointments seem real bad. Seem like he's appointing a lot of real war hawks, a lot of people who really seem to want to see a lot of violence, see a lot of people suffer, see a lot of people pay for all the things that, they have done. A lot of vengeance, a lot of hatred, and just a complete absence of compassion, a complete absence of kindness, empathy, love, whatever you want to say. That thing Jesus talked about, where is it, man? I mean, I listened to Michael Savage today. What I hear, oh, I want to see these people jailed. I want to see these people jailed. I want to see these people jailed. Just pure punishment, pure, I'm going to dispose of justice, you know. We're not going to leave it up to God. It's going to be up to me. I'm going to be the violent one, right? That seems to be what it is right now. So I would encourage compassion, but I know no one's listening. I know no one cares. I know no one's interested. I'm not part of their cult, so I'm not someone they're interested in appeasing, in having my approval. They'll live without it, just like they live without the approval of the rest of their enemies, as they dehumanize them, lump them into groups together. I mean, I was on some TikTok thing today with these Kamala supporters. Kamala, who for some reason people think is worthy of having people say her name the right way. Somehow people think that being some abusive, tyrannical piece of shit makes you worthy of respect. I disagree. But I had these people tell me that apparently voting for Chase Oliver in their eyes was the same as voting for Trump. So apparently to these people, it didn't matter that Chase Oliver opposed abortion laws, opposed the genocide, opposed all the foreign wars, opposed the drug laws, opposed all this harsh, tyrannical shit. Apparently, none of that mattered. And I'm in the same group as the Trumpers, you know? It's like these women. Oh, we're going to have a sex strike against men. Well, okay. So you're going to group old men into one category, I guess, regardless of who they voted for, regardless of what laws they support, all this bullshit. But it's not a new thing, you know, because they've been sex striking against me since before I can fucking remember. Um, you know, I learned it's been reinforced to me throughout my life that whatever these women are interested in, it sure ain't fucking me. It sure ain't me. You know, they go out of their way to let me know that. So people are gonna bow down and they're gonna worship their cult members. They're gonna comply. They're gonna do what they're told because that's all they got, man. All they got are those little fake fucking groups of people pleasing pieces of shit, man. That's what they got, man. And that's what they're gonna hold on to, man. You know, it's us versus them. That's the philosophy. That's what everyone's about. And hopefully, at least, we can all agree on that.